So Myth Wukong is apparently the next game on the chopping block from the shill media and gaming consultancy agencies. These people are ridiculous with their insane extortionary practices, using fear to terrify these game developers into doing exactly what they want, and they charge a lot of money to do it apparently. And this is information that is coming straight from the Chinese media itself that is reporting on behalf of Game Science. There is a lot of very interesting information I'm about to share with you guys. You have to see this story. There's a post from Grums here that breaks a lot of this down. Myth Wukong $7 million shakedown by SBI, and so the idea is that this might be Sweet Baby Inc. or it is a gaming consultancy agency like Sweet Baby Inc. Either way, it is a gaming consultancy agency trying to apparently extort Game Science for problematic things that their employees have said in the past. And I'm talking about like 10 years ago. The media is notorious for finding things way long ago that do not matter in order to paint a current day narrative to make these gaming companies look bad. And there may actually be a financial incentive for doing something like this that directly supports gaming consultancy agencies like Sweet Baby Inc. And this would actually be in line with the practices that the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., Kim Belair herself, has already confirmed in the past. So let's continue reading this. The Black Myth game developer Game Science claims companies like Sweet Baby Inc. are asking the studio for $7 million in guidance fees to fix their game and studio image. Game Science was slammed by IGN for its founder's sexual innuendo and remarks which they claimed was sexist, and I've already read through these claims. It's one of the longest IGN articles ever, one of the biggest smear pieces I've ever seen, and it does not contain information that would justify a game failing financially and for a studio to be shut down. They're trying to encourage people who are reading their articles to not buy Myth Wukong and paint this game studio as a bunch of sexist, misogynists, and apparently racist and fat-phobic people. The studio claims the attacks were made in order to extort the guidance fees, which they refused to pay. The founder of the studio has a controversial style that easily gets him in trouble with the wrong think crowd. So this guy is in China, this developer is in China. They do not mix with all these super sensitive, easily offended morons who hang around Sweet Baby Inc. defenders like Kotaku journalist Alyssa Mercanti. These people are always in a tight circle smearing every single video game that gamers are excited about. And their most recent victim is Myth Wukong, which is one of the most anticipated games on the market today. And we're going to take a look at this article from IGN. You guys have to see this for yourselves. Look at how big this article is. Okay, I'm just going to take you through a quick scroll down just to show you how much they say about Game Science as a developer. One of the examples that I found was a post that they actually put on the very top of all of their examples. To many who were familiar with Feng's mannerisms, these were just the harmless quirks of a game developer who, as vulgar as he may seem, is steadfast about his vision for game making. So a lot of people actually excused what this guy said because he made a post about how males and females are different biologically and so that their tastes are different as well. So that was really offensive to IGN. They also said other things like, but to other industry professionals and players, these comments felt unnecessarily crude and off-putting, so let's shut the game down, right? And this was back in 2013, so that was over 10 years ago that this person said this, and they're using it to paint a narrative today. There was also apparently a technical artist from Game Science, whose name was Daiwei, suggested in a post on Zhihu, the Chinese equivalent of social question and answer website Quora, that a female character from Myth Wukong known as the Snake Spirit can be masturbated to by looking at her more. Although I'm not used to the snake neck, I can still nurture that fetish, he adds. The comments, which was posted in the wake of the release of Myth Wukong's Gamescom trailer in August 2023, has since been deleted. Now, you can definitely criticize an artist from a game studio and acting unprofessional and talking about his personal fetishes and what he likes to do in his private time. Certainly criticize that, but to try and paint the entire game studio as the exact same type of people as this guy who's saying this stuff is absurd. You're trying to basically ruin a video game and ruin all the lives of the people that are working on it just because you find a couple of things that people said years ago very offensive. But this is exactly the kind of thing the media does. They compile all of this information to try and make this game look bad. And it's funny because they criticize when the other side does this for video games that have Sweet Baby Inc. involvement. All of those employees that are going and trying to shut other YouTubers down, call people at work and try to get them fired from their jobs, they have no room to be talking talking about this sort of stuff, and especially with IGN just straight up lying to gamers a lot of the time, making up nonsense about a bunch of game studios, including IGN France, who tried to smear the creator of Stellar Blade as some kind of misogynist sexist who's never even been with a woman or seen a woman. They're always making up lies and digging up a bunch of stuff in the past. This is what they do. I certainly think that it's justifiable to criticize somebody for this, but you could easily get rid of that person, fire them, and find a new technical artist, and that does not speak for everybody in the studio. Now, they do go on to just trash this developer in a whole bunch of different ways, and then they criticize gamers for pushing back against it, and then they just provide a bunch of examples of females who were super offended, saying, as a female player, I actually wanted to buy the game originally. Forget it, I'll just keep playing foreign AAA games. Bye-bye. And they say, in light of all this, game science may have found itself backed into a corner. If its remarks circulate more widely to a Western audience, it risks Black Myth Wukong being condemned. But in China, its audience is full of fervent defenders of its past actions, as if these guys have committed great and terrible sins. So yeah, IGN is just being insane. And by the way, this is a writer who is apparently buddy-buddy with Alyssa Mercanti, a Kotaku senior editor. The author of the Black Myth Wukong hit piece IGN Sexism hit piece article is Duck Valentine, Rebecca Valentine, besties with Alyssa Mercanti, and even appeared in her Fight Me Bro cringe video. That was the video where Alyssa Mercanti threatened a bunch of YouTubers and said, come fight me, bro. And then Vera Dark and maybe a few other YouTubers accepted her fight offers, and then she backed down. What a big surprise. Wukong claims articles like this were used by consulting companies to shake down the studio for $7 million in guidance fees. She also celebrated the infamous re of the GDC Scream. Oh boy. Oh, you guys are gonna love this one then. And is well known for her multiple hit piece articles targeting devs and studios for hate speech. So Rebecca Valentine has a history of attacking game developers and studios. I sure do wonder why they're hanging out with Alyssa Mercanti. It just boggles the mind. But I guess it shouldn't be surprising when she's at GDC with a bunch of these other people. She's probably one of the people in this crowd in this very video screaming. I don't know if you guys ever remember this, but there was a video where at the Game Developers Conference, a bunch of very mad and very pink-haired individuals went into a field and started screaming to lament about how much they hate gamers and how evil, exclusive gamers are, trying to gatekeep everybody. These people had to go into a field and scream in anger at a video game conference, the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. And Rebecca Valentine was one of the people who attended such things, and they were hanging out with Alyssa Mercanti. So of course these people have to trash a foreign game developer because this video game actually looks popular and people enjoy it, and enjoyment and fun are things not allowed in the gaming industry. But if you do go to Rebecca Valentine's page, don't expect to get any kind of response that would be meaningful because this person's Twitter is protected. It says multi-award winning senior reporter at IGN, multiple award winning, proudly IGN union. Who would be proud to be a part of the union of IGN? That's just my question. She, her, so she's got pronouns, big shocker. No longer on Twitter, do not DM. I'd sure wonder why. Here is some of that gameplay I was talking to you guys about. This game looks awesome. You guys have to see it for yourselves. Yeah, it looks really dynamic. They've been working so hard on this game. It's actually really tough to believe that these guys are indie developers. Oh, man. Oh, dude, I can't even wait for this. I'm honestly beyond excited for this game. And this is the game that IGN criticizes. They criticize games like Stellar Blade, they criticize games like Black Myth Wukong because they're foreign games, and these people do not understand that those people in those countries are different from these people here, and we believe things differently, we look at things differently, and they cannot stand it. They can't stand that their ideology is not in that country being established 100%, and that these people aren't being canceled for their freethink. But you may ask, Dread, where is the proof of this? Where is the proof? Where is the testimony that shows that Sweet Baby Inc.-like agencies are coming after game studios like Game Science? Well, here it is. Chinese media Black Myth Wukong refused to be extorted $7 million by Sweet Baby. So this is in English, it's translated from the Chinese media. The reason why the team behind Black Myth Wukong has been subjected to persistent sexist attacks and slander since their first promotional video is because they have consistently refused political correctness guidance and rejected the extortionate guidance fees of millions of dollars demanded by these political correctness teams. So they've been approached by political correctness teams, probably gaming consultancy agencies, who have been telling them, hey, you've got a lot of problems, you got a lot of past history that people aren't comfortable with. If you pay us a little bit of money, we can make those problems disappear for you. It goes on to say, actually, such teams are quite common in Europe and America. They interfere with works like Assassin's Creed, Dying Light 2, Stay Human, and God of War by pushing for politically correct female protagonists. One of those games is Sweet Baby Inc. involved. These changes are the direct result of the interference and guidance of such teams. This has Sweet Baby Inc.'s paws all over it. Now, it may not be specifically them, but gaming consultancy agencies have proven in the past to be a disaster for gaming companies. I know the Ori / No Rest for the Wicked developer Moon Studios CEO had a lot to say about how much he hates gaming consultancy agents and how the one guy that they did hire ended up being a huge problem for them and messing things up in their studio before he was abruptly fired from his position. Game Science teams refuse to communicate with these groups and reject their interference. Most importantly, they refuse to pay the exorbitant $7 million in guidance fees. If that's the type of money these people are making, no wonder that these games end up being complete disasters. They make that large amount of money from terrifying these people into doing what they want, and after they get their money, it doesn't matter what happens to the game after that because they've already been paid. So they could make those problems go away, but that's not a guarantee. And we've seen what happens to game studios that hire these gaming consultancy agencies. Either the game flops, or their reputation is completely soiled, or the studio ends up getting shut down in different situations. This is the direct reason why they are being attacked and slandered. So this is them saying that this is the direct reason why they are being slandered. Some justifications are based on the team's lack of diversity or representation, which doesn't align with the political correctness standards. A typical example is an article by a major IGN writer criticizing Hogwarts Legacy and refusing to evaluate or promote it due to its alleged lack of political correctness. So this is what Game Science is saying. These gaming consultancy agencies have approached us. They're trying to extort a bunch of money from us by pointing out a bunch of Western issues that we do not care about, and they're trying to charge us money for it. They're trying to get money out of these studios just because there might be a problem present, and a lot of people think that there might be a system to this, and I'll explain why. See, Grums points out here that the situation with Black Myth Wukong is disgusting. They cite IGN and consulting companies such as SBI as part of a shakedown racket of $7 million in fees. Here's how it all works, as SBI founder Kim Belair explains. And I'm glad that he posted this because he also shares what she said with her own voice in a speech. But she says, quote, "If they don't see the value of what you're asking for when you ask for consultants and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want." This is something that I have reported on in the past. This is their strategy. They terrify clients because naturally persuading them to do what you want is not going to happen because those ideas suck. So of course you have to scare them with social fears. They might get canceled if they don't do what they want. Those problems in the past might become even bigger problems now, and your studio may be shut down if you don't hire us right this second. Here is the whole web of people who support each other and make this shakedown happen. Sweet Baby Inc., hire us or else. And then the reporters say, support the racket by writing hit piece articles and run defense for the consulting companies. Play down the racket as a conspiracy theory. Alyssa Mercanti writes hit piece on Cabrutus Rambo for exposing Sweet Baby's long list of ruined games. Rebecca Valentine defends Alyssa and writes hit piece article on Wukong, leading to the shakedown. Jason Schreier gaslights you when it is all exposed, saying it's a hallucination and it isn't happening, and that is something that Jason Schreier has said. I remember long ago, this guy has been reporting for quite a long time, but of course he says that this isn't happening, it's all false. They're all in it together, man. It sure seems like it's all part of a multi-million-dollar racket. In fact, DEI and DEI consulting is a huge industry. See my post about the Activision Blizzard report. They call us grifters, but they are the ones making bank. Wukong directly cites the IGN hit piece article by Rebecca Valentine specifically, as well as companies similar to Sweet Baby Inc. as being behind the $7 million extortion attempt. So this is what gaming consultancy has come to. It's actually a booming industry, guys. It's not so much an obscure side project for many of these people. It is a thriving business, and it has made its way deeply rooted into the gaming industry for all to see. And they've even gone as far as making the front page of Xbox and PlayStation with their projects. It is actually insane the state that the gaming industry is in. And here is what Kim Belair said with her own voice in this clip right here, and I will play it.
Working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
I mean, really, does it get any more obvious than this? When she says the possibility of what might happen if they do not give you what you want. It's right there in your face, smack dab in this video. I mean, she's saying it to you guys' faces, and this is what Jason Schreier says doesn't exist. This isn't happening. This is Kim Belair, the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., saying it with her own mouth. But don't expect these people to have a conversation with you. The gaming companies that have hired these people, who have transformed these gaming studios from the inside out, they are not interested in having a conversation with you. It doesn't matter how tame you are in your criticism of their projects or their methods and strategies. And the proof is right here. I made a post yesterday that was actually pointing out a few contradictions of people on our side who are looking forward to certain games from Sweet Baby Inc. And I said, I have to admit, I'm a bit shocked at how many people are ready and willing to lower their standards in the fight against DEI just so they can take a crack at this game. Because if you recall, Compulsion Games was making a game called South of Midnight, which is heavily Sweet Baby Inc. involved. In fact, I hear that Kim Belair is directly involved in this project. It's very important to these people. And I said, but I guess that the gameplay is just far enough above the line of generic. It's just that easy to lower your standards and to play these games. Even if you're not supporting this game, if you are playing this game and announcing that you're going to play it, dude, that is just points for the other side. And that's all I was really saying. But guess what? Compulsion Games saw this post of mine, and only minutes later they blocked me because these people are not willing to have any type of conversation with anyone who is even slightly critical of what they're doing. Sweet Baby Inc. is involved in so many projects now, and they do not want to have a conversation with you. If you are critical of this game, you are blocked, you are blacklisted. They have no interest in doing what gamers want. All they care about is what they want, and they are willing to scare people in order to get what they want. And they have said that to your faces, and they have done it time and time again, and they're doing it right now. They're trying to do it to Black Myth Wukong, but Black Myth Wukong developers like, nope, sorry, we're not falling for the Western ideology bullcrap. And you shouldn't believe anything that IGN says anyway. They're just fake. Their entire outlet is fake. All of the companies that they bought recently that merged into their company, they don't matter either. They're all fake. IGN caught fabricating audience, okay? These people are offering prizes to people to cheer during their interviews with Phil Spencer. These guys are fake. IGN should not be taken seriously. They definitely should not have been taken seriously when they were saying that Resident Evil 5 couldn't be made today because it's racist. And then they turn around and say that it's completely fine that Yasuke, a black samurai, is in Japan slaughtering a bunch of people with a blunt club. These people are ridiculous. They're contradictory. They're hypocrites. And they're liars. And they're doing exactly what Sweet Baby Inc. wants, and the bunch of these journalists who don't care about gaming and only care about pushing an ideology and putting their feelings on display for all to see. They are all in this together, and they're not stopping anytime soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't had the chance to like it and share it with your friends, that would be awesome. And hey, if you're feeling ultra spicy, consider subscribing to my channel so that you're always up to date on what kind of thing I've got going on. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Later. Meow meow.